Hi, my name is Brian Knight. I am 31. I currently work for a drug and alcohol rehab center that's based out in Utah. So most of my time is spent helping individuals for that first phone call, seeking help, seeking treatment, looking for a way out of their current life. My father, he wasn't really around much because he was working a lot at that time. I didn't really know that. All I knew is that Dad wasn't really around. So he wasn't really there. When he was around, he was very one emotion, usually anger, right? There wasn't a lot of love given around, and if there was, there wasn't an ability to show it. So the emotion that he showed most often was anger, and the desire for us to always do more or better. So that kind of molded me into becoming a perfectionist, mainly in the area of sports. I was very athletic, played a lot of different sports growing up. I was in my town, I was one of the better athletes, and there was always, no, you should have did this, you could have did this, and there was always, just do better. And as a kid, that sometimes resonates as, I'm not good enough, right? And that really started to shape me growing up in terms of, I have to be perfect, I have to absolutely be better than everyone. If I wasn't, I developed this thing where I didn't even want to try anymore. I didn't even want to try new activities. Mainly, I know, like art, music, things like that, that's not something I'm naturally good at, so it wasn't something I wanted to ever try, because it was just like, no, I'm not good, so I'm not gonna put myself out there to fail. My mother, she suffered from alcoholism as well. I didn't know that when I was a young child. As I got into my early teen years, that's when her alcoholism really manifested and really became apparent. My parents actually separated. I was really kind of a mama's boy. I attached to mom quite a bit. And then when it came time for her to leave, that really hit me as mom's gone and I felt abandoned. So I developed, from the female side of it, I developed an abandonment issue, codependent, that manifested itself into a lot of relationships I had. I always had this fear of abandonment, a fear that I was gonna get left, coincide with all the other, I'm not good enough. A lot of fear went into my life. And that really played itself out throughout my entire high school and early college years. My present day-to-day is I am now actually 5 years sober myself. I'm in recovery. I still obviously have mental health. I still have anxiety. I still have depression. I still have bipolar, but I'm able to manage it. I've done that through going to treatment. I still see therapy. I still take medications. And then the big ones that I can control, that I encourage other people to really control, is I do service work as much as I possibly can. I have 2 young boys now. I have a 4-year-old and a 19-month-old. So they do occupy a lot of my time, but I try to give back as much as I can, whether that's physically helping NAMI, running support groups for youth and the young adults, or simply just being an ear to listen to when an adult is struggling. I particularly work well with the males who don't really know how to voice how they feel, right? Or are too afraid to kind of voice how they feel. Because I remember that there's a certain level of, being a masculinity, you can't really talk about how you have mom issues or dad issues, and there's a certain level of fear to that, and just helping people overcome that fear. And mainly, I try to resort back to when I was seeking help. All I wanted to do is be heard. All I wanted to do is feel loved. And when you can meet someone at that level and meet them right where they're at, just being a listening ear can go a long ways to helping them find the next steps. I have a big vision on doing what's next after, because there's resources out there in terms of therapy and medications, but a big part of things is like, who do you hang out with and what do you do more than that? Like what can I do to associate with people outside of just that? And something I really was available to me, I actually got sober in Utah. I started really addressing my issues in Utah. There's a huge sober community and people in recovery from mental health and drugs and alcohol, but we would do things all the time, whether it be sober sports or sober softball leagues, sober soccer leagues, or sober gym, just a community center of things where people could come together, very like-minded, maybe on a Friday night, when normally that time is, you sit at home, you isolate, but it's so important to be with other people who understand what you're going through. So I'd really like to open some sort of community center associated with that, where we can do, service projects, we can do, creative expression, so music, maybe art, maybe slam poetry, maybe exercise, different recreational activities, just an area where people can come together, feel safe, feel like they're supported. Yeah, my call to action is never be too ashamed or too afraid to reach out for help. Because I guarantee you, even if you don't 100% relate to my story, there's somebody else that will be able to relate to you. So making a first call, finding support, because there's always resources, no matter what your availability is. If you have private insurance, great, you have resources. If you have Medicaid, there's resources. You just have to be courageous enough to make the phone call, and even if it's just someone, you need someone to listen to. Maybe you're a teenager and you need to hear someone other than mom and dad. There's people who will listen, right? There's people who are always going to be there for you as much as we possibly can, but there's always a way out.